Hey, so today I want to talk about something that I'm not gonna pretend, right? Like I'm not gonna pretend that I know the ins and out of this specific thing. I'm not gonna pretend like I've seen it all, I know it all, and I can, recite it with my, nuts tied behind my back or some shit, right? I'm not gonna pretend. But the thing I want to talk about is analog horror and ARGs in a sense. Maybe not exactly ARGs due to the fact that when I looked up what ARG meant because I didn't know what the A, R, and G stood for. It's like alternate reality gaming or some fucking shit like that. Like when I looked it up, it was like, oh, there's actually a type of genre of game or something, and apparently Hello Neighbor fits into that. So I don't really fucking know. So maybe I'm just gonna talk about analog horror more. How the fuck is Hello Neighbor and ARG? That does not make any fucking sense. Anyway, whatever. I guess I'll just talk about analog horror in a way. And like I said, I don't know a lot about it. I know jack shit. I've seen very few analog horrors. I've seen obviously the Mandela catalog, obviously. Um, I saw the Backrooms shit, which apparently counts. I didn't know if it really counted or not, but I did see that. I remember I saw the Walton Files or whatever the fuck it's called, and then there was like another Five Nights at Freddy's one, but I can't remember what it was called. And I don't know. I've seen like sprinkled ones here and there. There was like this like one about like some like it was like some 2007 Flash game one where it was like supposed to look like a old Flash game of like some character called Lacey or whatever, and it it it's not really scary, but those ones made me sad. The other ones, like I didn't really find any of them scary. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't find any of the analog horror scary, but those Lacey ones kind of just made me sad. Like those ones just weren't really scary. They were just kind of sad. I was just by the end of them, I was just like, damn, that's it's like that just makes me sad. But whatever. Also, as I was looking up, apparently Linkara, if anyone knows who Linkara is, the a guy who was part of Channel Awesome, he made a top the fourth wall. If you guys have ever seen like a little video of like a guy in a fedora running really fast at the camera, Linkara apparently made his own analog horror called like Winter of '83 or something like that. And if you had fucking told me that Linkara of old people made a fucking analog horror, I would actually have just called you batshit insane because that is actually insane. Like of all fucking people. But I mean, hey man, whatever. Like I said, I don't pretend to know a lot about this shit, but from what little I do know, it's they're I don't know what to say because like I don't want to like say like anything that's like supposed to be like oh they're shit in any way because they're not. They're really fucking well made. Like every analog horror thing I've seen is well made. However, I think one of the biggest problems with analog horror that I've seen is that they all do the same thing. Like it's to the point where it's the exact same thing, right? It starts out like, oh, it's innocuous, right? Like, oh, do you see, here's an image. How does this make you feel? Or, oh, this thing is cutesy. Or, oh, it reminds me of like, well, really anything, like anything you've ever seen on the internet that's like supposed to be innocuous or cutesy and then just goes horribly wrong, like Happy Tree Friends or something, right? Like that's kind of what it like reminds me of, just like the whole like, oh, look, it's so cute. Oh God, they're being torn apart now. Holy shit, right? And that's how analog horror feels. It kind of feels like it's trying to imitate that, except sometimes they kind of just like it just feels like every analog horror does the same thing, but I like them regardless. I think a lot of the analog horror stuff I've seen is cool. I don't really care for like the ones that are like based around like VHSs and all that kind of shit, like the Gemini one or all that. Like there's a lot of them are based around like VHS related stuff, and I think that's incredibly overdone. And I don't know. Like analog horror does the same thing. They'll have the innocuous beginning. You don't think like whether it's cutesy or normal or it's like, oh, nothing's out of the ordinary. And then after like a few seconds, they hide a creepy face in there, and you're like, if you're not paying attention, you don't see it. But then some people are like, wait, bro, what? Do you see that face? Do you see that face, bro? Oh my god, there's a face in the corner. Like actually, I remember when Alex Kister, the guy who made Mandela Catalog, he made he had like a second channel and he made like a jokey one. I think it was called like the Scrimblow or Scrimblocks or Scrimbly. I don't know. It was like making fun of it, and he was just like literally shit posting and making fun of his own series, which I thought that was I liked it. I liked it. I thought it was funny. But it in a way, a lot of them just do the same formula. It's like, oh, normal video, then there's like a slight disturbance, then ooga booga, something creepy. Sometimes it's just a straight up jump scare, sometimes it's like nothing, and then it goes back to being normal slightly. And then it goes crazy, and then it goes crazier, and then suddenly it goes to like someone like recording in their bedroom, and there's like a fucking shadow demon like jerking off in the corner, and they're like and then it goes back to the like VHS, and then it's like, oh, it's innocuous again, oh, nothing creepy going on, and then it'll more than likely end with like no like creepy thing happening, and then there'll just be like a VHS effect that like goes ape shit at the end, and then the video ends, right? it, it's very formulaic in a way. Like I said, I don't have a problem with it. I like a lot of it. I think a lot of them are really cool. And like I said, I really like the more recent one I saw, which I still don't know if it really counts as analog horror. I just assume it was with the Lacey ones. I assume the character's name was Lacey. I think it was. I thought that was like one of the newer ones that I saw that I actually liked. It, like I said, it just made me sad. It didn't scare me, but it just kind of depressed me. But like that's just kind of sad. But like all the other ones, like are very formulaic, right? VHS, creepy thing, creepy face. You don't expect anything, creepy face. I don't know. I don't know. I like I said, I like them, but they are very formulaic. They follow just a very strict pattern, and almost all of them are almost exactly the same. But there's so much work put into them, and they're just so well made to the point where it's like, even if it does get formulaic, you can't help but watch it and be like, this is really fucking good. And like I said, I haven't seen a lot of like the newer ones, so I'm sure it's like kicked up a bit. I know there was like like a Happy Farms one or some shit like that. I don't fucking know. There was like something called Vita Carnet. I don't fucking know, dude. I don't speak fucking Italian or Greek or whatever. Dude, I'm fucking ignorant American. I don't speak languages. Fuck that. But there's like a lot of them that I'm seeing a lot of videos pop up. I'm seeing a lot of like I see it in my recommendation. I see reaction videos to them. They all look pretty fucking good, right? Unfortunately, for some of them, I'm just incredibly impatient. I, I'm very impatient when it comes to some videos, meaning you have to like get to the point really fucking quick, or else my short attention span runs away. You need Subway Surfers with that shit. Okay, I'm not really that bad, but like I don't know. I'm very peculiar. Peculiar? I don't know if it's the correct word. I'm very specific about horror. Like it has to actually fucking like interest me. But if it's about something that I could give less of a shit about, like then I probably will not care. Like the Happy Farms one, I think is, or I don't even know if that's what it's called, but it's like really cool. However, the idea of just like these amorphous blob monsters that are being experimented on, it just didn't. It wasn't really like something that interested me. So I was just kind of like, whatever. I'm not gonna. I don't, like I was like, whatever. I was like, it's really cool, but it like, I don't really want to watch any more of them because it's just like, eh, concept is kind of whatever. Like the Mandela catalog, I thought was cool. Like the idea of like these monsters that pretend to be humans and make them end their own lives. It's interesting, right? And I watched the Walton Files. I can't remember. There was like two of them. Like I said, there's two Finds of Freddy's one. Whatever, doesn't matter. My point is, I don't know a lot about analog horror, but I do know that I do think the ones that I've seen are really good, and I think a lot of them are pretty cool. I just am kind of bored of the formulaic VHS nondescript video. Oh, it's so innocuous. Oh, jump scare or a face. goes back to normal, switches to someone recording something. There's some like deeper meaning about like, I don't know, like aliens or God or ghosts or, oh, my dead girlfriend has possessed my balls or some shit like that. You know, like kind of like that Godzilla creepypasta where it was like, oh, my girlfriend possessed the game, or was his dad? I don't fucking remember. I like horror stuff, okay? I used to love creepypastas when I was younger. Even if I knew they were shitty, I still liked them, so whatever. And to this day, I still keep up with creepypasta related things. I keep up with horror related things on the internet because I just like horror, internet horror. Internet horror is just, some of it's good, some of it's goofy and shitty in a way where you're just like, yeah, this is good. By the way, Jeff the Killer is one of the worst creepypastas ever. I'm just gonna say right now, Jeff the Killer is the worst creepypasta I think ever. I just genuinely hate the Jeff the Killer one. I just think it's shitty. So yeah, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like talking about it because it's like, I don't know. I haven't seen a lot. I remember there was like a Team Fortress 2 one I remember watching. It was like Bad Water, something like that. I don't know if that one counts. See, I don't know what counts as analog horror. I'm stupid. I don't know what counts. But at the end of the day, I like it, right? It's the new form of creepypastas, right? We get like these visual creepypastas now instead of reading like a story where someone says man door hook hand or whatever the fuck or who was phone and all that shit. We can actually see it, you know? Now we finally get some visuals with the scare or something. I don't fucking know. Anyway, I like analog horror. I really do. It's definitely not good for my paranoia, but I like it regardless, you know? Regardless how paranoid of a person I am, I'm always going to love horror related things. And internet horror, like I said, is just so goofy and kind of fun in a way where I can't help but watch it and read it and all that shit. Even if like it's the dumbest shit. Like we can look back at things like Sonic.exe and people can be obsessed with it and I can look at it and be like, "Wow, that was really just shit." Also, wasn't the Sonic EXE guy the guy who wrote it? Wasn't he like a pedo? Like, or is that someone else? I swear to God, there was like a Sonic EXE writer or something who was like outed as like a pedo or something. That might have been, maybe it was a different Sonic creepypasta, but like whatever. Also, funny enough, talking about like the Mandela catalog, that fucking image that I use a lot. There's like an image I use, like people have probably seen it a lot. That fucking smiling woman, you know, the black and white woman, smiling woman that I like hide in my videos sometimes. And it's just overall like there to be like creepy and shit. You know, it's a very Mandela catalog esque looking little character. But funny enough, I got it from like, I don't know if I can find the original image because I cropped the fuck out of it and destroyed it. But like the original image was just like an edited version of like that meme where there's like the guy that's like, I like video games and I love playing video games and streaming and or YouTube and all that shit. And like originally, like the image has like a sultry looking woman who she kind of is like eyeing him weird. She like says something like, "I want to kiss him" or "I love him" or something like that. But like I got that picture from like an edited version where someone just posted a picture of a smiling woman that kind of looks like Sofia Vergara, and it just says, "I will eat him." that that's the original image. I'm explaining it just in case I can't find the image to like, you know, edit in where I originally got it because I love that image. I love that fucking image. There's just something about it. It speaks to me, right? I love that fucking image. Hell, it's my Twitter profile because I love that image. It's creepy. It's creepy in a fun way. I like it. Not to mention, it's a creepy woman. Even better. I love creepy women. And that image makes me feel something. I don't know. Nothing weird. Anyway, analog horror. So yeah, I don't know. I like analog horror and creepypastas, all that shit. I like that shit, right? I love internet horror. It's just goofy. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's bad. But sometimes when it's bad, it's good. And sometimes it's about like things you like, you know, like a video game creepypasta about like something you like Pokemon. I like a lot of the Pokemon ones. So yeah, I don't know. Analog horror, whoopity scoop, blah blah blah. Ugh. I have AIDS. I don't. I don't have AIDS. I don't know why I said that. Sorry. Whatever.